So my name is Malia and I will do a whole face makeup tutorial for a nice day look. Now let's begin. First, I put on a primer pencil from NYX in a pearl white. It is really good to prime the eye and it could be used as a shadow. I then take a synthetic brush and I just pat it down so it really gets into my eyelid. You want to use a synthetic brush because it will really push the product into your skin. Now what I'm taking with a crease brush is a nice soft brown. It's called Cookie Dough by Too Faced, but any light brown is good to start in the crease and then you build up from there. Now I'm taking my same crease brush and I'm using a dark red-ish scarlet color from my Buxom eyeshadow palette. This palette is not pre-made. I picked these colors myself, but I really recommend them because they're highly pigmented and it's very affordable and you get to choose 6 shades. And what I'm doing with this Bobbi brown buffer brush is just buffering what I put into my creases so that it's really smooth and comes together. And then the same for my Buxom palette. I take a nice gold and I put it on my lid. I just pat it down. Now I'm taking a nice pink, shiny pink. It's called Pink Champagne. And I'm putting that on the inner lid and right in my tear duct to really make it sparkle. Now I'm taking a brush with no product on it and just buffering and then doing my eyeliner with a gel eyeliner that costs like $3 from E.L.F. And I'm using the Anastasia brow brush to line my eyes. Now that I've almost finished my eyeshadow, I'm just going to take a darker brown and really highlight my crease with a small shadow brush. Really fine and just stroke so I can define where my crease is and make a tiny bit more dramatic. You can also use a black if you're going out or if you want to change from day to night. A black will also do well, and I'm just going to take my Bobbi brown and buff it up so it all blends together. And I'm just taking a light pink to highlight under my brow. This is really good to just make your eyes pop, especially if you have big eyes like me. So being that it's summer, I really like this Mattifying primer by Becca Cosmetics. It really helps when I sweat day to day, and I just put it in my T-spot. The foundation I'm using is the Urban Decay. It's oil free and it looks really good with tan skin, and it's for a day look. It's not incredible coverage, but it's really good if you want that natural look, and it's buildable. I really like it because it looks so natural. To put the foundation on, I'm using the Urban Decay Kabuki brush as well. So as I begin to contour, what I'm going to use as my first concealer is the MAC Prolongwear concealer. It's really liquidy, almost a foundation. I'm using a small concealer brush to just define where I want it, going to the top of my cheekbone and also in the T area where I'm going to highlight, so right underneath my mouth and on the bridge of my nose. And I'm using a Beauty Blender sponge to really set it into my skin. And this is a great way to blend it so it looks as natural as possible. So I'm just going to take my same kabuki brush and just blend everything that I've done in so it all looks one. Now I'm taking a thicker concealer. It's from the MAC pot, and it's about 3 shades lighter, and I really like it when I highlight because it brightens my under eyes. And to set it, I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime and Light Boost right underneath my eyes. Now to blend the product, I usually use a stiffling brush, but because this concealer is so thick, I'm going to use a blender sponge. It looks way more natural and really blends the concealer with the highlighter all together. So now you see me using the stiffling brush to blend everything together. I usually contour and highlight separately. So right now I'm using a Tarte concealer stick in deep on the bridge of my nose and my cheekbones and the top of my face. And I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter right underneath that line I made on my cheek to define the contouring line I've created. Now I'm taking a very thick cream brush to blend it in very small strokes because I don't want the product to get everywhere because it's not my skin tone. So I'm just going to work it up my face in small strokes so that the line is still really defined. To blend the highlighted line we put right on underneath the cheek, I'm going to use my stiffling brush and then really make sure my contour line is defined but blended so that it doesn't look unnatural. And now I'm taking a small angle concealer brush to blend in the contour lines I put on the bridge of my nose. So this brush is really good because it's small and it's angled towards my face. And I'm just going to take my kabuki brush again and blend everything together. Now I'm just going to take a translucent powder and I'm just going to blend it and set my highlight underneath my eyes and on the bridge of my nose, right on the T section. This way my makeup will stay all day. Now I'm using a big powder brush by Bobbi Brown with a MAC Studio Fix powder, and it's a pressed powder, so I'm just running it over my face to seal in all the spots that I could have missed. Now I'm using my favorite bronzer out right now. It's Too Faced Beach Bunny. It's a really good bronzer. It has a little pink and gold tones. I like my face to be a little more glittery than matte. And I'm just running that on my cheekbones in an upward motion. Instead of using a blush brush, I'm going to use a large powder brush just because I have big cheeks. But I'm using a Tarte Cosmetics blush that has a little shine to it. And I really like this blush. It's a peach pink and it works really well. And now I'm taking the Clinique in an ivy color to underline my eyes. Now I'm taking one of my favorite highlighters by Nars. It's called Miss Liberty with my fan brush. And I'm just taking it at the top of my cheekbones really lightly and just building it up. I really like to highlight my cheeks because, as I said, I like my face to be more shiny than matte. Now I'm using a Makeup for Forever travel size mascara to just lighten up my eyes and make my eyes pop. For the lips, I'm using a Wet n Wild dark brown liner to line my lips. I'm going to do a nude ombre. So I'm going to put the darker color on the outside of my lips and slightly in the center. Now I'm going to use a matte pencil. It's a really big one for the whole lip for color. And then I'm going to take the darker lipstick color. It's also from Wet n Wild. I'm going to put that on the corners of my mouth. And then I'm going to take a lighter nude color and put it at the center of my lip to make a pouting look. And to blend it together, I'm going to use that same lip pencil and just blend it all together so it flows seamlessly. And just rub my lips.